to stop drinking.
How about that video?
How's it going, Bo?
Oh, pretty good, Richard. Just talking about the video.
Oh, how about that video?
Yeah, how about that?
How about that? How about video? Like if your name was Video, you'd say, how about that video?
Pretty good. Cassette tape.
How do you know my given name?
I know everything about you.
Hashtag creepy.
Hashtag, where are the boys? Hashtag, stalling. Hashtag, hey, cassette tape. What's the plan?
Okay, here's what I think we're gonna do. Here's what I feel like we should do.
Okay.
So Jared's pooping, but we're not supposed to say that.
Right.
So I'm not going to. I'm going to keep it. Right. So play a song.
Okay, we'll sing a song.
Something that doesn't mention pooping or Jared.
Got it.
Do you have anything in your arsenal that...
Yes, I got it.
You do?
Yeah.
Great. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Swain.
There's a lot going on in my sleep.
I like your ankle got entangled in the chair, and you're like, fuck it, I ain't moving it. You're having this kind of bizarre angle. I'm staying. It burns, but I'm staying.
From my angle, I love seeing you guys come down, and then randomly, two people who didn't know you were coming just went right into the aisle, and we're like, ah!
Yeah, so people were like, oh, now's a good time to go to the bathroom. Oh my God!
See, I didn't see that look. I saw them get up
and see us and go like, get out of my way. I'm lining up, get out of my face.
And I can just, because I put on the face of moving or losing.
Coming on.
It's just like them turning around and it's just like, and I'm just like this in slow motion. And I'm sure what it looked like was just hair behind me.
I actually still
Also in slow motion.
I have my moose antlers on still, so luckily they got out of the way.
Well, you know what? I think what I'm going to do now is make this official.
Let's do that.
Good people of Vancouver and the rest of BC, please. A warm welcome to the boys who've been making a television show in your neighborhood for 15 years. Jensen Ackles and Padalecki. Boys, the stage is yours.
Alrighty.
Norton, you don't mind to sit directly in front of you, do you? Not at all.
As long as he's lit. Hi guys, welcome to our last
Welcome to Canada, eh?
Canada A Con, where Jensen and I and a few others go back to film Supernatural tomorrow. Next time we see you here, it'll be you're in here. But we won't talk about that now because I'm getting a little dusty. I'm just emotional.
Glitter all over your face.
Because I hug you.
It's my fault.
It's I don't sweat.
Well, seriously,
Like, listen.
It's my
did you eat a unicorn for lunch?
Yeah.
It's all over your face.
He ate her.
Touch it.
It's my fault.
Negative. Get your party herpes off me.
Holiday herpes? Do I really have glitter?
It's
You
highlighter.
really do.
It's highlighter.
You got some right here, actually. It's highlighter.
Oh my gosh,
It's
you really
highlighter.
got
It's
it.
from my face.
All right, who's wearing glitter?
Tammy.
Wow.
I'll tell you.
Many of you. Great. Okay. Well, answer that question. Moving on.
Yeah,
I
shut up,
sparkle. You're welcome. Can everybody hear all right? Very cool. It was just a decent music.
Before we get too stop it! Before we get too far down this road, I would like to point out a section of the crowd that has been tirelessly working for this show back there.
Stand up. Stand up.
We should have made them wear like crew shirts or something. We didn't brand them all season 3, but that's probably not visible.
It's not legal these days.
No, if you do get a chance to run into any of those folks back there,
Tell them
please
to
give
stand
them,
up, we can't see
yeah, anybody currently employed or formerly employed by Supernatural, please stand up back there, please.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that's certainly owe them as much gratitude as we could possibly give them. They work a lot harder than we do, and I will only say that on this stage. Never directly to their face. How's everybody doing? Good weekend so far?
Yeah.
How about this guy last night? Am I right?
Did I miss something? Did something happen last night that I didn't
We
see?
missed you.
Yeah.
Get away.
Yeah, the concert was a smash hit. So.
Yes.
I'll be watching the YouTube videos. Daddy.
How often do you go down the Supernatural YouTube rabbit hole?
Way too often.
I'm gonna take a guess. 2 to 3 times a week.
Maybe not that much anymore, but you know how it always starts out? I do go down the YouTube rabbit hole for Supernatural.
Bloopers.
Gag reel, bloopers. Once that happens, I'm just like, like, if you like season 1 bloopers, you'll love season 2 bloopers. I'm like, I sure would.
I wonder how many analytics YouTube went through to come up with that suggestion.
14 seasons of bloopers later, I'm having like 8 hours less of sleep than I would have had I just turned my phone off or left it in a different room. But say la vie. Yeah.
Somebody was saying, I was talking to one of our crew recently, and we were talking about ideas for crew gifts for this year, and maybe some things that we'd like to see. And somebody said a yearbook, and I thought that's an interesting idea. And then I thought, well, isn't that what YouTube is? It's literally a video yearbook of everything you do and don't want to see on Supernatural. More than to do, yeah. I thought that was an interesting concept. Although we've been together longer than you would have if you got your senior yearbook.
Not if you failed at school.
Oh my God! And not if you get held back.
If the show ends and you give me a yearbook, I'm gonna be pissed off at you. Unless it's gold plated. Then you can open it.
What if inside is a handwritten letter of my admiration of how you've grown as a human being throughout the years and how I've watched you go from a man to a father and from a father to a hero?
Is it gold plated? All right, we have some people.
It is covered in bullshit.
Rare bullshit? Hi, how are you? Good. Thank you. Hi, how are you? Just hi. Do you have a question? Welcome.
If you could go on a hunt with 3 other characters from different shows, who would it be?
With 3 other characters from different shows? Ooh. Okay.
Network or cable?
Or streaming or...
Actual television or internet shows?
I'd like to have Amel on the hunt.
Yeah.
Suck ass.
No, because I mean, like, people often think, why are you wearing flannel and a jacket in the summer? But if they see me next to a guy in rubber, they're gonna be like, I look better by comparison. I'd like to have, do you know anybody?
Stewie Griffin.
Yeah. Lucifer.
Yeah.
So we have another funny accent.
Yep. Another funny accent. Thomas Shelby.
And I guess Negan, because, not because of his hunting abilities, but because we're faster than he is, so we don't have to outrun the zombies, we just have to outrun Negan. So we could probably make do and survive.
If you were to pick 3, what would they be?
Negan, Priestley from Padalecki, and Dean from Gilmore Girls.
We only get one team. That would be fun.
You're right. I can't think of anybody better than Dean from Gilmore Girls to take down a vampire's nest. They'll chuck a hot cup of coffee at them and hope they burn.
Yes. They'll burn their hands on the cup of coffee.
Right.
Because it's hot.
And allow an escape, I guess. It's
Also,
really
groceries. And they'll be waiting down the
Waiting down by the groceries.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Well thought out. Thanks.
Hi.
Hello. First, I'd like to just thank you for all your work towards mental health and stuff. I really appreciate it. And I was wondering, with the season ending in sight, if you guys had specific things that you wanted to keep from set.
No, we can't think of a thing.
When I get time off, I like to read, so I think I'm going to keep the Mendele's bunker. We're just the whole bunker. Yeah, just
Break it down, put it on flat decks, and send it to Texas.
Get a big dolly, and just kind of wheel it down. The what?
You need more than a dolly.
I think that I have a few things from over the years. Does anybody here work for No one's filming this, right? I'll put it this way. There are a few things that I conspicuously noticed have gone missing from the sets over the years. I can't say where they are or aren't. But for me, it's the little stuff. I have all my chairbacks. I have all the watches that my character wore, except for the ones that were auctioned for charity.
I think this is a great question to ask a year from now.
Yeah.
What do you got? What do you got?
Yeah.
What's in your pocket?
What'd you get away with? Then we may or may not have gotten away with a few items. We'll let you know then.
Yeah.
But if we point them out now, chances are we won't get those.
Do you work for Warner Brothers Legal Affairs? Because this is entrapment. So, yeah. I took Ruby. Yeah.
I don't know if he took her, she more like got stuck with him.
Yes. But, tomato, tomato, chicken, egg.
But don't worry, we're working on a list of things that, Jerry, don't worry, it won't, we won't interfere with your department at all. Jerry's gonna go back and tell his whole team, be like, guys, we're gonna need to put tracking devices on any important items on the set.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi.
It's nice to see you guys again.
Say again?
It's nice to see you guys again. I had did a photo op with Jared last year, so.
Very cool. Good to see you again.
And my question was, who's your favorite person to prank on set? Because I know that you guys are love doing pranks. So who's your favorite person to prank?
Mine are actually. I have two answers for that, and I love pranking the both of them and messing around with the both of them because they get so uncomfortable. But one hides it really well, and one doesn't. And the one who hides it really well is Jim Bieber. He's just so good. You just can't break him until they call cut. And he's like, "You idiot! What are you doing?" And then, our favorite whipping boy has to be that girl. What's her name? Mishka. She's cute. Laughs a lot. Weird accent. I think it's really fun to mess with Misha because you can see the wheels start to fall off before he breaks on camera. So those are probably the.
And he's gotten better at holding it together, which makes it more fun for us.
It's like the next level.
Yeah, there's like more of a build-up, which means there's more of a payoff, and it's really great. I think you're missing one person specifically that gets pranked. Pretty much any time that we're on set at a low level because it's easy, but at a constant level because it's easy. And that's Mr. Bradley Creaser, who's right over there.
Brad, please stand up.
Yeah, yes. So Brad is our A camera operator and sometimes our director of photography, and he is essentially responsible for making us look as good as we possibly can all the time. So I can't think of a better person to sabotage on a consistent basis than the one who is responsible for making us look like we know what we're doing. I'll never forget when Nina, one of our directors, actually yelled at Jared when he was doing his close-up. He was messing with Brad and with Misha on his close-up, and she came in and she's like, "You're such an idiot. You're the only person I know that sabotages their own coverage." And that was his response. Was,
Can we go again? I want to do it more.
we have one of our veteran directors directing the episode that we are currently filming right now. And is Charles here?
Charles Baker?
No? Charles Beeson, who hasn't been with us for many, many years, almost like 9 years or something like that. But directed a few episodes before the one that he's currently directing. To name a few.
One of my favorites was I Know What You Did Last Summer for some strange reasons. I really liked that episode.
Changing channels.
Yeah.
A little favorite of ours called Mystery Spot. I'm sorry. French Mistake. That's it. French Mistake. Anyway, he's back as kind of a favor to us because he's certainly gone on to some big jobs, and he's producing and doing a lot of other things as he should. He's very talented, but he decided to come back and play with us, and I think he's regretting it now.
I'm sure he is.
After a couple of days on set, he's like, "Wow, it's gotten worse."
How is that possible?
How was that possible?
It got worse.
How do you get anything done?
We don't.
How do we get anything done?
Yeah.
It's all just
Slowly.
happy accidents.
Actually, not slowly. We shoot at a breakneck speed, and somehow do it with as much fooling around as we do. I don't know. It's a conundrum. I think we're all very knowledgeable of the fact that we're unhireable anywhere else. So there's that.
So if y'all have a job offering, call me in April. I work for food, so thank you.
Thank you guys, I love
Do you guys have a favorite season or a favorite episode?
Probably. For me, it's difficult to differentiate between my favorite season to film and my favorite season to watch. Same with the episode. You know, I have episodes that I loved filming. I hated filming French Mistake. It's probably my favorite episode to watch. You know, it was nerve-wracking. It's like, are we jumping the shark? Are we messing up by playing ourselves? And there's the scene where Jared and Jensen are playing Sam and Dean, playing Jared and Jensen playing Sam and Dean. Like, my head hurts, you know? Meanwhile, once they, called cut on the final scene of the final day of filming, and I got to watch it, I was like, this is great television. I love that episode. I love Baby. I love when we've been able to break the fourth wall. And thank you to y'all guys, because if it wasn't for your support, then our studio network wouldn't have any valid reason to allow us to do the kind of stories that we do. But I think everybody knows that we got a family here, so thanks for having our back.
Yeah, it's hard to pick a season, because there's parts of every season that I really like, and then there's maybe certain episodes that I was like, oh, maybe I missed the mark on that, or I wish that storyline would have gone a little longer, or whatever. And I think of moments that are my favorite. Not necessarily an episode in its entirety or a season in its entirety, but I think of moments that stand out to me that are my favorite. One that just hit me, and I could sit here and probably come up with a dozen right now, but one that just hit me was the moment that Dean confronts his mom in the vision. it took on such a bigger thing. When I read it first, I was like, okay, this is like, Dean's getting some therapy out here. But it became such a bigger thing because when Amara said to Dean, I'm going to give you what you need the most, I think most of us would have assumed that was his father. And then I think most of us would have assumed, well, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's not available right now. Let's give Dean what he needs second the most. It would be his mom. But it wasn't just that he needed a parental figure in his life. It was that he needed to confront his feelings with his mother that had been pent up for so long. And I thought that was such a huge cathartic moment for the story and those characters. Those are moments that when I think back on Supernatural years from now, that I'll remember less about the entirety of the episode or the season, but it's those moments that I shared with Samantha on screen, those moments that I shared with Jared or Misha or a number of other brilliant characters and actors. So yeah, it'll be fun to reflect. But right now, I'm focused on what's ahead of me, and we still got a long road.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi guys,
Hi.
this is for both of you. If you had the chance to write an episode of Supernatural, what would it be about?
I can tell you right now. And I almost don't want to tell you right now, because it's...
Oh, come on. Please.
All right, I'll tell you how it goes. So Jared and myself and Richard Spade have, throughout the last maybe, 2 or 3 seasons, have started started having these ideas of funny moments that could or should happen on Supernatural, and we've been writing them down in a little text thread, and we just call it Naked SPN as an homage to Naked Gun.
Oh.
So doing a full slapstick comedy version of Supernatural where it's just ridiculous and stupid and funny to us. And we'd like to put those moments kind of together in a way that it makes sense for a script, but I don't know, we're running out of time, so we might have to get on that if we're going to make it happen.
Yeah, and I'll take that one. Yeah, I agree. We have a pretty funny, some homages, a lot of just goofy, slapsticky, silly. It would be a great episode. It would be one that I would watch more often than the others. Yeah, I think that's, if I had one wish for our final 11 episodes that I haven't read yet. Since I've read up to 9. Yeah, thank you.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
I'm sure that there is no better way to spend a Sunday than with us at a convention.
Damn right.
But my best friend and I, my best friend who probably is responsible for Jared's litter, we're going to Austin next month. And so I would like to know how you would spend your perfect Sunday in Austin.
Ooh, so I can stop you.
Doing what my wife and kids are doing right now, which is they're out in the pool with some neighbors and friends, and they're going to order some barbecue and hang out and do nothing. That or doing it in a couple months when football season is in full swing and I can watch the Cowboys. Our Sundays are usually interesting because it's some bit of relaxation, but it's also preparation because when we wake up on Monday, we got to hit the ground running for 5 days. So you have to kind of stay sharp. Saturdays can get a little hairy. But Sundays, usually it's like, okay, well, I want to have a good time. I want to relax, but I want to stay sharp, astute. Because tomorrow I have to, go pay homage to Sam Winchester and his buddies and brother and all that.
I would not want to be doing what my wife and kids are doing at this moment, and that is they're all sitting on the couch watching Beaches. I don't know. like Daniil's favorite movie, and I'm like, not while I'm around. Get your fill of Bette Midler somewhere else. I would say, in all honesty, if you can, if Saturday night doesn't take too big of a toll on you, wake up, take a walk or a jog or a bike ride around the lake, town lake. If you're a little bit more adventurous, run a stand-up paddleboard and head out there and enjoy the city views from the water. Then maybe grab some lunch, maybe some oysters at Clark's. They have really good burgers. Then maybe head out to a little place called Family Business Brewery. Beat the afternoon heat with a nice pint of beer in an Oak Grove. Then after that, maybe head back downtown and watch the bats fly out from underneath the South Congress Street Bridge, which is, they call it Bat City. There's over 1 million bats every single night that fly out from underneath the bridge right downtown and go off into the night to eat mosquitoes. Thank you bats. It's quite a sight. And then maybe go for a nightcap at a place called San Jack or Stereotype. And if you're lucky, real lucky, you might catch a glimpse of one of the local celebrities there by the name of Matthew McConaughey.
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry, I just woke up from a nap, so I don't know how I did.
Oh, that must have been nice.
I'm sorry,
You
but I'm
mean
here.
just now? Or?
Well, I ran.
You ran
I'm here.
12-inch heels?
I did, from the third floor.
I believe you. I believe
Yeah. Okay, so my
I want a
question.
nap.
Okay, well, I'll send out like
Was it like a
next time.
20-minute nap or was it like a good solid hour?
It was like a 20-minute, like,
Those are the best.
Yeah.
So good.
I had some food, so, it was perfect time.
All right, what's your question, man?
It's for both of you, and it's about like your personal attire. So when you guys choose, I know sometimes you go to events and you have stylists that style you. In the events that you do things. And
Not true.
Okay, so then my question is, who is your style icon? When you put on an article of clothing and you're thinking in your head this person is my inspiration. This is the feel, the mood that I want to emulate. I'm really curious about that because you guys.
Yeah, Jared, I'm really curious. Who is yours?
Are you ready for another nap? Because I'll tell you my answer. I don't have a style.
Does your wife help you? Does Jen help you? Or
Sure.
Yeah?
I mean, when she's a friend.
She gave up.
Yeah. She gave up.
She gave up a few years ago.
I think Genevieve and Jensen have long tried to assist me in being more fashionable. Fashionable? Is it German? Fashionable or fashionable? It's not difficult to see that I dress for comfort. Thank you. That's really good intervention. Did you plan this?
Jared, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I should have been prepared for this. Yeah. Let's put it this way. When Jen and I started dating, this is not a word of a lie. When Jen and I started dating, it was season 4 of Supernatural, so I've been a successful actor. I was very fortunate financially, and I had a house that was 7 figures, and I could buy first-class plane tickets and go to concerts and eat fine food and drink fine wine. And the pair of pants that I wore most often, they were like the old bootcut style. It gets better. Because they were bootcut style and I'd had them for so long, they would catch underneath my shoes every now and again and got ripped. And they got ripped pretty high up. And so I stapled them together.
He wore these jeans for years.
They were comfortable.
They were stapled up to his mid-calf. And not like, you know, maybe some sort of a fabric staple or something that was used by a seamstress or something like that. Like office staples. All the way up his calf, and I'm like, you know, they make jeans. And then, like, a few of us used to, like, they could also repair those jeans with proper stitching and make it look like it's, you know, just some distressed fit. He's like, nah, I'm pretty good with the staples right now. Because if one pops out, I just pop another one in.
They worked well.
They didn't work well. They were held together by metal.
And love. Long story short, I never got rid of them, but they did vanish. And I don't know if it was him or Jen.
Oh no, Jen told me. She's like, oh, when he wasn't looking, I think she had a little bit of a ceremony in the backyard. And she lit them on fire. And I could never be really sure, but I think she said taps were being played.
Yeah, so that tells you about my fashion style. Jensen?
Fashion night, Jared. I don't really
I think for you, in my opinion, depends on the occasion.
Yeah. You know, if I was talking about being on stage like last night, I would probably look to somebody like Gary Clark Jr. or something like that. Be like, I think he's got cool style when he's, you know, on stage. When it comes to just like casual stuff, I go more by, like there's a couple of stores that I will shop at, and I think the lines of clothing that they wear kind of lend themselves to being in a certain style.
So then what's your favorite store to shop at?
There's a store called Stag Provisions for Men. There's two in Austin and one in Venice, California. There's a place here in Vancouver called Brooklyn Clothing Company. So they're kind of smaller boutique stores that have kind of unknown brands, and I tend to like those kind of that kind of stuff. So, but I don't look to one person and be like, yeah, if I could just do everything they do, that'd be great. I think everybody should have, it should be personalized to them, and I think you should feel comfortable, but also try to look decent.
Well, conveniently, both Stags in Austin and By George and Brooklyn Clothing Company here are near office depots, so you can get staples either before or after, depending on the hours that they're open. Yeah. They have, you know.
Touche.
Yeah, things their own.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Hi.
Oh my god. I've never been up here to
It's
ask
on my
questions,
truck.
so-
On my truck.
Okay. This is gonna be a last minute question, and I don't know if it's generic or not, but I'm a local. I live in Vancouver. I love when I see you guys on set and all the hard work that you do for everybody and the strength that you show them. It's really admirable, and I respect it a lot. So when you have free time in Vancouver in between filming, what's your favorite place to go to? What do you do in your free time?
So we can all find you.
Never again.
You know, I'll just put my location services on and I'll just ping you all. Just
Facebook Live for the remainder of the show. I actually, somebody asked me this actually today. I love the seawall, the Stanley Park seawall. And so season 1 I trained for the Los Angeles Marathon, and I had to stop training because I hurt my knee and had to back out. But I had become accustomed, yeah, you feel me? I had become accustomed to jogging it and biking it and rollerblading it with my 2 dogs. That's right. We're both gone to chase cars in the sky. But I still, when we trained for the Seattle Marathon and then the Austin and Boston, I jog it, or I'd bike it. And the other day, I think during the first week of filming or second week of filming, I got off at 6 p.m. and since the sun goes down at 10 p.m. here, or it did, I just hopped on my bike and put my headphones in and went for a little ride around it. And it's got a lot, it's outrageously stunning scenery, other than the big yellow sulfur mound, and you know what I'm saying? That's always strange. But the rest of it's beautiful, and B, it has a lot of nostalgia for me. I remember, I want to say, if it wasn't day 1, it was day 2 or day 3 where he and I and Kripke went out and kind of had a conversation on one of the benches about what we needed to do to be a part of the show, and obviously we're already part of the show, but like what this was going to look like. And he had already been to Vancouver for many years filming other shows, and so he was like, hey, let's grab our lunch and go sit on the bench and look out over the North Van. I was like, sweet, thanks dude, like, yeah, I wouldn't have known what to do, so we did, we grabbed our lunch and went over, and so I have a cool nostalgic feeling thinking about week 1 of filming every time I either bike or jog past it, but that's probably my favorite. Given the time, that's what I would like to do.
I got that question asked earlier too, and it's we get so very little free time in the city here. Most of it is either long after the sun has gone down and we get home late, and it's more about kind of winding down and getting prepped for the next day. Our hours are pretty erratic, and so if we do have time off, it can be in the middle of the afternoon, or it can be late at night, or it can be at any time. But it's and on the weekends we're never here. We're either flying home or we're flying to Comic-Con or to LA for a thing, or coming to visit you guys. So we're constantly traveling on the weekends. So we never really get free time to plan like, oh, I'm gonna make a nice day today. Although yesterday we went out and played a round of golf. The weather's nice, and I've been trying to get him hooked on it for years, and hasn't took yet. But
we beat Cliff, so that was good.
He kind of beat himself, but yeah, no, we did. There was a few moments where I thought we were gonna have to duck. I like walking around downtown. I like walking around near the art gallery, and it's a really pretty city. And I often say that my only complaint with Vancouver is that it's not my home. And it's a beautiful place. If I do get a chance, if my family's in town and we get out and about, we'll go to Granville Island, walk around and listen to the street performers. But it's a really great city, and there's a lot to do and a lot to see. And my folks just came up recently and went on an Alaska cruise that set sail from just around the corner here. There's a lot to do, and there's a lot that I wish I had time to do. I was just talking to one of our crew members the other day about this fishing lodge that's north of here, up in the interior, and I was like, God, I would love to do that, but alas. Maybe one day. So, thanks.
I was wondering if if either of you have been to Alberta, and if you have, what your favorite place was, and if you are going to, if you haven't.
I have been to Alberta. I really enjoyed it. I went to Canmore, and we skied and what are the other, like Sunshine? There were a few. Banff, we skied Banff. That was paradise. The big, crazy, beautiful hotel there. But there was a place, there was a ski run that I think it was called like the Transcontinental or something. But you ski from Alberta, British Columbia to Alberta. The ski run actually sort of borders the border of British Columbia and Alberta. That was a fun trip. That was 20 years ago, 18 years ago or something, before Supernatural. But I haven't been to Alberta in, I don't think since then, unless we had to fly through it at some point. It's fun. I hear it's a lot like Texas. Just with funny accents.
It is. Yeah, they call it the Texas of Canada, don't they? So it must be amazing. I have not. I haven't spent any time there. I've been through Calgary, and I think I did a appearance when I was on Days of Our Lives at the Edmonton Mall. And it was, I know, you want to talk about glitter. And I did, this is probably going back before most of you were born, but it was my first, I think it was my first like public appearance that I'd ever done, and the show had obviously had a built-in audience, and so I showed up, and I was this new character on the show, and Alison Sweeney, who played my sister on the show, she'd been on for a while, and so the audience knew her, and she was a bad person, so she was like a bad guy on the show. So people they hated her. They were really, because this person's in their living room every single day. It's different with Supernatural, it's like, once a week. Unless you're binge watching it, then I don't know what to say.
No one here has ever seen it more than once a week.
Right.
TNT.
But so I remember getting up on stage and having these people looking back, I'm sure, I know that it was all kind of in jest, or it was just, but they were really mean to her, and I got so angry, and I started lashing out at the audience, I was like, she's a really nice person! I don't think you know her! I've spent a lot of time with her, and she's really nice! I hadn't hit puberty yet. That's my experience in Alberta.
Thank you.
Hi. First off, I want to apologize for screaming in your face, Jensen, when you came running down.
He's pissed.
I got a lot of mileage out of that story, so thank you.
And he's a really nice person.
I was wondering, since you brought up marathons, I was wondering if you guys had any plans in the future to do more charity runs.
Yes.
And might I suggest the coast in Oregon? Could
That was amazing.
you do, Mount Hood, and it's in a relay, and you go to Seaside on the coast, and I think it's like 12 members, and they each do shifts. You run a certain amount of time.
That's a lot.
What are we signing up for?
I got you. I already signed up. I
Listen, Misha still can't walk from the last time.
So I signed up. Get him.
She's over there like, he's fine.
Yeah, I do entirely intend to do more charity runs. I set out to do a Swiss Alps run this summer. Dumpster fire.
How'd that go?
Yeah, well, I didn't walk very well.
You tried.
And then, I tried. I was wonderfully humbled. But the next stop, we didn't have to, it took me 5.5. So my best marathon is under 4 hours in Austin, but my, this was like 17.5 miles, and it took me 5.5 hours. I was working as hard as I could. You start at like 5,300 elevation, and you go up to about 9,300, and you hover between there. I got there 3 days prior. Yeah, it was difficult. My friend Danielle came and visited. Yeah, that was a rough one. And the problem is you go through the Swiss Alps, and then you go down and you get to a village, and they're like, okay, the next place where you don't have to pay for a helicopter to pick you up, if you can't make it, is in like 12 more miles. As well. However, I actually have a funny story from that trip. So the next day, I went to, the crew knows it, the next day we went to Lyon, and I watched the World Cup final, the Women's World Cup final, with my wife and my buddy who I'd been with and our families, and then the day after that, they were gonna leave and sort of road trip to Saint-Tropez or something. And my wife and his wife come running into the downstairs area, we're playing foosball with the kids, and they're like, there's a fight outside. There's a guy, he just pushed a girl into a car. It's like 2 p.m. And so we're like, my first thought literally was, well, we're not in Texas, so no one's gonna shoot me. So I'll go out and I'll try and assist in stopping the fight, and diffuse the situation. And so we run outside, and sure enough, there's a guy and a gal, and they're going at it in French, and I don't speak any French. So I just kind of walk up to the guy.
Well, some French.
And you'll figure out what French is very soon. And so the guy I run up to him and I kind of put him in some overhooks. I basically just kind of bear hug him. And he's not fighting back. It's clear to me that he doesn't want to fight. It's more like the passionate French fight. If I knew some French, it was like, blah, 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 like, he doesn't even look at me. He's just like, I think he was happy that there was a guy holding him, like holding back. And finally, so I'm holding him, and the girl gets away from whoever's holding her and comes up and hits him. And he got up like, he kind of faints back a little bit. She didn't hit him hard. But so now I'm kind of holding him, and he finally looks at me, and he looks and goes, Supernatural. And I say,
And it was the only thing you understood in like 5 minutes, right?
yes, exactly. And I say the coolest thing I can think of to say in the limited French I know, which is, oui. To which he responds, boom. And he goes back to arguing with the girl. I'm like, what is going on? We're in Lyon. And so finally she gets away from who she's with and storms down the street. And I kind of let him go and do the universal symbol for like, you good? Like, you're not going to chase her down? Like, he doesn't speak any English and vice versa, I don't speak French. So I kind of do this number, give him thumbs up, and he's, yes. And his friend walks him away. And then as he gets about 5 steps away, he takes his friend's arm off him and he goes, Simply just there. Simply just there. Merci. I look to my buddy and I go, pardon my French, that's the weirdest fucking thing that's ever happened to me. And I suppose not French. And so we walk in, and we tell, so my Jen and his wife Kristen didn't come outside because they were keeping the kids inside in case something got rowdy. And I walk in, and I tell Jen the story. She's like, no one knows who you are. I have a witness. So we've been on set going, simply just there. Weird things around me now. So, yes, I'll keep running. Because hopefully, in order, I am, sounding version of that. Sorry, thank you. That's amazing. I can see it. Hi.
This is my first convention. I'm very nervous. I'm so sorry.
Oh, welcome.
I have to say, my 14-year-old self, you're my Eric Brady and will always be Eric Brady. And Jared, Tina couldn't be here today, but she loves you, so Tina says hi.
Hi, Tina. I love her back.
My question, if Sam and Dean were to ever go into a fictional town you previously worked in, such as Stars Hollow, Capeside, Salem, etc., who would you be wanting to fight? What would they be, and which town would you select?
Oh, wow.
What was the last part of that? What will we select?
Like which city or town?
Which city?
What
would they
and
be?
which person would it be, and what kind of monster demon person would they be?
Got it.
I feel like I'm going to answer for Jensen in this scenario. So Jensen would be pretty pissed off that there was a shapeshifter named Dean in Stars Hollow who looked like his brother. So I think he would probably go to Stars Hollow and get after the shapeshifter that looks like his brother Sam, who's calling himself Dean. That's my guess.
And I'll answer for Jared. He would go to Salem. And tangle with Marlena, who happens to be God.
I wasn't part of that conversation. That was, this guy.
Amari?
I do.
The darkness.
Yeah.
God's sister.
Yeah.
I would, it would happen to be God's sister, is what I
She wasn't possessed.
He was right behind me. He can smell the fear. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Supernatural family, please say hi to Catherine. Catherine, you are our last question for this
2019 Vancouver.
She's like, I was going to ask what you had for lunch. So we would like for you to see what we get the pleasure of seeing, and go ahead and ask your question.
No pressure.
Thank you, Catherine.
I think we all have something in life where we go, I would like to redo that. Is there an episode that you say, crap, I wish I could take another crack at that, and if so, which episode?
Great question. Very good question. Yes. I would like to, and not because, well, let me preface this by saying, the episode, there are two that I can think of that I would like to reshoot, and not because of any shame behind them or anything, but just to almost like knowing now, if I knew then what I know now, or think I know now, it would be the pilot. And I'm super proud of the pilot. I just would love to be it. I would love those 16 days again to exist and keep a journal or something. And Swan Song. I think those two, I don't feel like, I'm not saying I'm happy with my, I would like to re-experience the filming of those, knowing now what I know. I would love to go back. I feel like I buried myself so deep in work, trying to help get a pilot picked up and trying to tell this, this episode, season 5 finale, that I didn't appreciate enough at the time what exactly was going on, and that was the completion of the genesis of Supernatural. You know, that's why we're all here today, and then obviously it's gone on for many years afterwards, and they're awesome. But I think those stick out for whatever reason.
Is this something that we wish we could do differently, or just something that we wish we could re-experience?
Something we wish you could do differently.
Oh, great. Which of course then means that I wasn't necessarily happy with the way it went the first time and would want to change things. Right?
Karen.
That's a tough one. But there are a few that rise to the top. Bugs being one. And yes, I believe somebody took it right out of my the fight scene with Lucifer. I would change one major factor in that scene, and it would be cutting the cords. Never ever do a fight scene while suspended in the air when you don't actually have superpowers. Because you look like an idiot. Dangling on a string, trying to hold on for dear life with your buddy who also looks like an idiot.
Billy just made the comment that you guys looked like you were doing Team America World Police.
And that's what it felt like. Yeah, that was, and I think that was kind of the consensus across the board from the top to the bottom was that, missed that one.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. Thank you, Catherine, and thank you guys to the Supernatural family.
The very last time these boys will be in this city for this convention while they're still in production. That's Supernatural, and that right there is Jared Padalecki. Great stuff.
Awesome.
All right, well, take a few minutes, recover, we'll take a little bit of a break, and then we'll be